unknown show of phenomenal people that I know. And today we have Dr. Tiffany Davis Henry. Yes,
Very good.
I know.
You did it. You
I
did
did it.
it.
I did it because I knew her before Henry. So yes, we are
Yeah.
here on this wonderful morning. This is the earliest one that I've ever done. Such a mother, such a doctor.
Honey
Thank you
had
for
some
fitting me
clients
in.
after this, so we had to get it in where we fit it in. Okay.
I am not mad. Here we are. First, I always like to have my guests just tell us a little bit about yourselves in your own words. Of course, it's a Funterview, so this is very informal, but please tell us who Dr. Tiffany is or about yourself.
Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me, Angie. I knew you as Angie Parker and then Yoakum. So we have a long history of pre-marriage,
Yeah,
premarital, and post.
children.
And so it is an honor to
Yeah,
be included in the number of phenomenal people such as yourself,
thank you.
and just having this conversation. So I am Dr. Tiffany Davis Henry. I go by Dr. Tiff. I am a licensed psychotherapist, a sex therapist. I'm based out of Atlanta. Um, Most folks uh, don't know me as that because I have a small private practice. So you're lucky if you get in. Okay, most folks most folks
Nice.
know me from my television appearances. So I have been in the area realm of television for many many
It cut out a little bit. Come back out and come back in, Tiff, if you can. There you are.
good. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah. Many, many.
Okay,
You've been on
so
TV.
right. So, Angie, I don't know if you remember that. I know that you remember this, but I don't know if you remember this. So, my
Right.
very first TV appearance would have probably been, I don't know, maybe like '07, I believe.
Of course.
And Angie Parker Yoakum did my hair. Yes, she did.
I thought you were talking about something else. Of course I remember. Yeah, that's
And
what made cornrows like all right for doctors and professional people.
listen, listen, and we'll go back to that, but like it was I I was natural. I don't think I was newly natural, but definitely all natural and have been for a long time. And that's a whole story with a
Yeah,
whole lot of layers and a whole lot of lessons. So we'll talk
yes,
about that, I'm sure. But so I say all that to say Angie and I go way back.
we do.
Okay.
We do.
And so that show was What Chili Wants. And so that was probably my first television appearance. But since then, I've hosted daytime talk show
Yeah.
called The Revolution for ABC. I've hosted an evening talk show called All About Sex for TLC.
Mm.
And I have done many, many, many guest appearances on shows like Good Morning America, Today Show, Steve Harvey, The Doctors, Dr. Oz, Bill
Okay.
Cunningham, Maury Povich. Like,
Mm.
if you need an expert for mental health, for sex, for relationships, they call your girl.
Yeah.
So that is what I do, and it really does. It is a very broad spectrum. So beyond my private practice, most folks know me from television.
Who knew so many hats and all kind of the same hat
I
with
try,
little hats and
yeah, with different
you
feathers, different
yeah,
feathers.
feathers and berets and all that
Yes,
underneath. But
yes.
absolutely, you are on the right path. But there's
I
different
try, whatever that is. I don't
is that
know.
there's
It
different
changes
boots
every
to get
day.
on. I love it. I love it, and I think that's what has connected us for so many years. We're not to be tied down. There's nothing that really just describes us. We're a
Yes.
little bit whatever you think we are. We're not a
Mm-hmm.
percentage of that.
We're definitely a percentage. Definitely a percentage of that. You know, I was at this quote always, I don't know if it's a quote because I probably won't get it right, but it always
Okay.
sticks with me. Earlier, this was pre-COVID, but
Mm,
last year, right at the beginning when Oprah was doing her 2020 vision tour, and she did
yeah,
not envision COVID, okay? That is
exactly.
not what she thought about.
I know.
But she got up on that stage, child, and she said, whatever you think my life is 10 times better than that.
Yeah,
And when I tell you that took me out.
it's the truth. It's the truth.
And so when you say that, like, no matter what it is that people think or the box that they try and put us in, especially when you are a creative,
Yes.
which I consider myself to be, even though I'm in a very scientific kind of field in some ways,
Yeah.
I do know that the creative part of my brain is way greater and much bigger, and it does not think like a conventional therapist. You
No.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I remember being in undergrad and even like master's program, knowing that I'm not gonna be sitting in no office.
Mm-mm.
I know what I was gonna do, but I was like, I can't sit in no office for like 20, 30 years saying the same thing to the same people. Like, I love the work that I do,
Mm-hmm.
love it, but it does not, the therapy portion of it is not the extent, does not fulfill the extent of my creative abilities.
No. Of you.
Yeah.
Of
No,
you.
no, 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 no,
Yeah.
not at all. Not
And
at
that's
all.
why we connect. We are
Yes.
definitely both creatives. You just have a professional title that throws people off. I would
Yeah.
believe, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
the,
for
who
sure.
you really, really are. But
Yeah.
I've
And you know,
never heard you
sometimes
like
sometimes creativity don't always pay the bills on time. So
it's always late. And that's the
we
fun,
have
that's
to,
the
yes.
creative part of us that trust and believe and that have that it's a daredevil. You know what I'm
It
saying?
really, really is. Not
Seriously.
everybody sees it. And so, you know, for me, because I do like hot water and
Yeah.
air conditioning,
Yeah.
I do rely heavily on my skills
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
the
yeah.
things that I've been trained to do. But the
That's
creative
right.
side of me certainly does come out. And, you know, I think the dream for all of us creatives is to be able just to live in our creativity 100% of the time and hopefully get paid what we need to get
Yes.
paid so we can continue to do more creative things.
So we can be free. We're social butterflies.
Mhm,
We're butterflies. We like to be
mhm.
free. Whatever is conventional or whatever, that's just a turn off to us. And
Yeah.
it's not. I mean, really,
It
it's not
is.
even considered
It
something
is.
that we have to adapt to or adhere to. Like doing the opposite is fun. But then you
Yeah.
have that. I'm more of an extremist. And you have that grown up professional balance of it. Like you said, I like air conditioning and hot water.
I mean, I do. I
I
appreciate
do
those
too.
things, you know.
Yeah.
And I can't figure out a way to make my creativity pay for that. But it's coming. I
It's
believe
coming.
it. I believe it. I
It's
believe it.
there. I think the
I
creativity,
actually think it's right around the
but
corner. I
I
always
think
think
it is already there for you, even with your shows and your
it
appearance.
is.
That's
It is.
fun.
It
That's
is. It is.
social
It
for
is.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think what I love most about it, is not necessarily like notoriety and things like
Mm-mm.
that. What I love most about it is the diversity of the
Yeah.
people, the diversity of the connections, the diversity
Connections.
of the information and experience that I get. It's not, like I said, mundane. It's not sitting in a box and just being
Exactly.
able to talk about the same thing all the time. It
Yeah.
is like one of my favorite jobs. I was a contributor for 2 years for HLN, which is a sister company to CNN. And
Mm-hmm.
at that time, they were very heavy on news and very heavy on court cases and
Yeah.
things like that. And that was a wild ride. So I was there during Trayvon Martin's,
Mm-hmm.
George Zimmerman's trial. I
Mm.
was there when a young African American man walked into a school with a gun here in Atlanta. I was
Yeah.
there during so many just pivotal points in history
Mm.
during that 2 years where like we were just starting to see an uptick in school shootings. We were starting to see
Mhm.
so many, like Jodi Arias's trial, and being able to speak on live television
Yeah.
at the drop of a hat every single day about different issues, and putting a mental health spin on it,
Yeah.
putting a relationship spin on it, like
Yeah.
it was just so much fun, and I really do. And for that, I've always loved live television.
Look, there it is. So
Yeah,
much fun.
it's so much fun. And for that, I've always really loved live television, and I've loved just being able to extend, my degree
That's right.
basically into a space where, I was never taught about. This is not
Okay.
something that I went to school for.
Mm-mm.
And because of that, I've always felt like, okay, I'm behind in some
Mm.
kind of way. Like I don't know. But for everyone that I've ever said that to, made that statement towards, I didn't go to school for this. I feel like I'm behind. They all say, individuals in the industry will all say, you went about it the right way.
Your experience.
Yeah, you went about it the right way because they're calling me in as an expert, not as a journalist, but as an expert. If
Absolutely.
if I had it to do all over again, though, I'll be honest with you, I probably would have gone to journalism school.
Hmm.
I'd have either gone to FAMU or to UNC Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't have got into UNC Chapel Hill, just saying.
Probably. What
Um,
about today? Too late? Oh, you're over it?
oh
Maybe.
no, no, her student loans are no.
But what
Um,
about her student loans now?
yes, yes, we can't add any more. We cannot add any more
Her
at this
student loans
moment.
don't allow that conversation.
No, they're not trying to hear it.
Gonna pray them
Uh,
things away.
thank you. That's what I've been doing, but they still here. So yeah, no, I would go back to for J school, or I would have foregone college altogether
Mm.
and gone to culinary school, but I would have ended up in the exact same place. That's how
Yeah.
I know that I did the right thing and
Yeah.
that I'm doing the right thing in terms of television.
Yeah.
I could have gone the culinary school route because I do love to cook. It is passionate. I
Yeah.
never considered that was I didn't even know that was a thing, and which sounds so weird, but I grew up as many of us did where we had parents who said you're going to college. Like it
Right.
was never an option in my house. You're
Never.
going to college. After high school, you go
Yeah.
to college. Both my parents, they did not go to college, but they
Okay.
were like,
Wow. Adamant.
after high school, you're
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
college, right?
Yeah.
It never dawned on me that
Mm.
culinary school was a thing or an option.
Option. Yeah.
If it had, that is exactly where I would have gone. But I do know that, like, again, like in my mind and in my mind today, I'm not working in no restaurant. I don't want to work on no restaurant. In my mind, culinary school meant personal chefery. I could come in,
Absolutely.
do creative things,
Cooking with the
leave, put
education
the food in
packet.
the refrigerator, leave it
Yes.
there. You have the wonderful dinner party that you have planned and dreamed about.
Exactly.
And I'm at home in my bed, watching The Young and the Restless on my DVR.
Waiting for some
You know,
thank you text.
yes, that's it. That's it.
It
That's
was
it.
so good. Thank you.
That's all I need. It sure
I
was
told
because
my
I
friend about
saved a
you.
exactly. It was very good. I saved some leftovers and put them in my own
For
refrigerator just in case
real.
I
Can you
wouldn't.
redo it for me to
Yeah.
freeze it? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
So
That
yeah, so
understand that.
I would have totally ended up in the same place though. I would have
Yeah.
totally started to do some stuff for television because it's
See?
what I like to do.
Mhm.
I love teaching. I love teaching to people and talking to people that I never would have interacted with
Yeah.
within the confines of that box within my office.
Absolutely.
That is what brings me joy. That
Yeah.
is what makes me feel like, okay, I'm having a meaningful day, that I'm doing the
Yeah.
right thing, that someone in Idaho or
Yes.
Arizona or New York or Nevada that I have never met before and probably will never cross paths with heard something that I said. It resonated with them,
Yeah.
and they were able to apply it to their life. That's when you know that, like, I am doing, like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. It
Meaning,
validates,
purpose.
yeah, it validates you.
Yeah.
And so, I just keep doing what the Lord calls me to do.
Yeah. And that's where how you know you're in your lane you are on the right path. You're in your journey.
Mhm.
And that's where, as a creative and a person that gets life, but doesn't want it just a typical way, or we just can't. Um, that's where the fulfillment and purpose comes down.
Yeah.
Those open doors where it's like, first of all, like, how they know to call me?
Right.
Remember I asked you, like, how you get that interview? And you was
Yes.
like, I don't know.
They
You're
just
like,
call me.
yeah,
And it's,
certain things.
yeah, it's that is, but part of it is the availability, your own availability, but it's
Yeah.
also intuition and what you know about your people
Yeah.
and your audience, the
Yeah.
people that you work with. When I started my therapy practice, so this is pre what Chili wants, right? When I
Absolutely.
started my therapy practice, there was something in me that knew, like, I want to do television.
Yeah.
I hadn't admitted that to myself fully.
Hmm.
But I knew that, like, I want to do more than just The Office, right?
That's right.
And this was a time, so let's think early 2000s. At that point, I was highly committed
Mm.
to building a website. Now, it is unheard of
I
at
remember
this
that.
point in the game for people to not have a website, right?
Yeah.
At this point, though, there was like yellow pages, white pages, phone
Yeah.
book. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Google stuff
Yeah,
that wasn't even
maybe.
around like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. It was just starting, but it was weird.
Exactly.
So I remember just saying, like, people, like, now is the time where things were transitioning. People don't actually go to or have a thick phone book. They're like
Mhm.
going online to figure out where they want to
Right.
go for whatever. That's what
Right.
we do.
Yeah.
So I have to have a web presence. And so I made sure, and it was a busted old website, but
I
and I
remember.
still have the
No, I remember it was busted. I remember you having to
okay.
create it. I know it wasn't
So
busted.
it was. It was. I've grown so much as a person since then. So
Were you creating it?
no, 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 no. I hired a guy, and I want to say he charged me maybe, and I thought it was so much. He charged me like $500
Yeah.
create my website, and I was just like, that is too
What
much.
are
And I
you going to
remember
be doing?
I paid that thing in installments. I was like,
Absolutely.
mm-mm, this is too
Absolutely.
much. Now I wish I could get a professionally done website
Anything.
for 500. I
Wreck
can't
my
find
page
that
for
dude.
500.
Exactly. I can't find that dude now. So yeah, I
Mhm.
you have to have the vision of what it is that you're going after. And even if the vision is blurry, even if it's not clear,
Yeah.
still go after it.
Yeah.
It's because of the web presence that I had, and
Yeah.
not necessarily like I wasn't it's not like today where you have to constantly push out content, which I
Uh,
don't do. But it's not like that. It was just like I knew I at least need to have a website.
yeah. Where they can find
And it
you.
was super basic,
Yeah.
very basic. But that's how I got what Chili wants.
Yeah.
It
They
was
knew where to
how,
find you. They could.
yeah, they went online and just looked, and oh, she's here in Atlanta. Oh,
Wow.
she's black. Oh,
Mm.
okay. Well, she has a little bit of experience. And at that time, I had done like Blog Talk Radio. I had a radio show. And if you
Yeah.
really dig on the internet, you can
Wow.
find those interviews, those old interviews
Fun though.
that I did. Yeah, but it was still just stuff that, like,
Yeah.
I want to do this. I need to do that. And as I think about it now, it's just like it's been there. These are the things that,
Yeah.
I've always done and always wanted to do. And, it hasn't necessarily come from someone gifting
Mm-mm.
those opportunities to me. It's been you know what, I had a dream, I was in the shower and a thought came to me or whatever, and okay, well then I'm just going to do it, and
Yeah.
then and it happened. Now I'm
Believe,
old.
walk
Yeah, now I'm
into it.
old and
Yeah.
I overthink everything, so then those
Well,
those moments come slower.
yeah, because somebody asked me like, how'd you start doing hair of the celebrities or whatever? I just said in my 20s at lunch with my cousin, I was like, I want to do the hair of celebrities. And I released it, I believed it, and kept eating. And then it
Yeah, it
happened.
was
Now they're now having to create and make stuff happen. It's like, wow, where is that
right,
just think belief
right.
and belief?
Right.
I know. It's real. It's real.
It is real, but you know what else that reminds me of too is
Hmm.
of how God works, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He blesses us whether or not we do anything, especially when we're younger. We don't have to
Yeah,
care or worry
yeah.
about a thing
Not a
because
thought.
you know why? We got a praying grandmama. We got a praying
Exactly.
auntie. We got
You ain't gotta
people
think
that
about
are on their knees 24/7.
it.
And we
Yeah,
didn't realize that their
I know.
prayers were direct links
Yes.
to all of
Yeah.
our dreams and all of our gifts, right?
Focus.
Well,
Yeah.
as we get older, guess who got to pray for us? We got to start praying for ourselves. We have
Our
to start
children.
developing our own connection
Yeah.
to our higher power and making sure that like God, let me reintroduce myself because I know
Girl,
I've
wait, hold
been
on.
wayward.
First of all, we ain't got to one question, and you didn't
I
answer,
well
but you
listen,
done answered about five. The first one is how do we know each other? Even the first one, I said I'm starting from the bottom because we're limited. Uh,
it's okay.
the doctor got
If
things to do.
she does, but if we have to do a part two, we can do a part two.
Oh
It's
yeah,
no
yeah, yeah,
problem.
yeah.
Yeah.
Please, yes, please. But starting from the bottom, were you raised in church? And then I have
Mhm.
religious question mark.
You know.
And I know you believe and you
Yeah.
yeah, but what's your relationship or like how you say I'm
Yeah.
praying grandmother.
Yeah. I was raised in a church, University Park Baptist Church in Charlotte,
Wow,
North Carolina.
baptized.
Yes.
Wow.
Every Sunday.
Mm,
And when I was really, really young, that was when you had the morning and the evening
yeah,
service
Sunday school too.
and Sunday school, right? So you get up. My mama used to make pancakes every Sunday.
Mm.
So good from scratch.
See,
So we would get
see,
up, eat breakfast, make it to Sunday school
yeah,
by at least I think 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. Mm-hmm.
Church started at 11.
Yeah,
We were there till about 2, 1 to
I was
2.
thinking 143.
Yeah, as one does.
Yeah,
And then we would come home,
yeah,
eat an early dinner.
yeah,
Daddy would watch football. Mama would
yeah.
cook whatever. Actually, she had the crock pot going while we was
Already
at
while you was at
church,
church. Yeah,
so they'd be
thinking
done when we got
ahead.
home.
Yeah,
And then at 6 o'clock, we'd head right back
I
to
was gonna
church.
say 6:30. Yep, exactly. Well, 6 o'clock to make it there at 6:30.
Right.
Be there on, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, and so I was in, choir. I
Mm.
was an usherette,
Shut up,
the
girl.
little
You was
usherettes, and then the
involved.
junior, yes,
Yeah,
Bible study on Wednesday.
yeah, yeah.
And so yeah, it was a very big part of our lives growing up, and
Mm.
would not trade it for the world.
Me neither.
Definitely, but again, like you knew, I think as we were younger, there were things, and this is true just across the board in life, right? There are things that we memorize.
Yeah,
Lord's Prayer, we
yeah.
memorize.
John 3:16.
John 3:16, we memorize.
Yeah.
But the depth of those verses and the meaning behind it and how we rely on those things doesn't come until we actually have to go through something, until we
Yeah.
actually have adversity. So as a kid, my parents
Yeah.
felt the brunt of I don't know, I don't even know, because God, right?
Yeah.
So whatever struggles or whatever issues or whatever bills or whatever that
Hmm.
they were going through, like God took care of all of that
You sure did.
because
We
she
didn't
didn't
know.
have to know anything about it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But it's not until you get older that you're starting to say, "Oh Lord, let me, my knees ain't ashy enough. I ain't been, been down there
Let me
enough
get grown
praying."
like my mama and grandma.
Yeah, yeah,
If I said in my
yeah,
family, who's gonna be mom and whoever when we need to start lining up people?
yes,
My mom is
yeah,
80, but she has
yes,
us on her calendar. I mean, just
yes, yes,
literally praying, praying, praying. And like you said
yeah,
before, grandmother, whatever, but
yeah. They
that
did
can't
that for
end.
us, but no, no, we have to
We
learn
have
how to
to.
pray for ourselves. And I think that's why, as nobody wants to be an adult or have those adult responsibilities, but
I'm
that
not.
is why we go through things in our
Yeah.
20s. That is why we go through things in
Hmm.
our 30s and 40s, because we have to know who to lean on,
Who
who
our
to
help
go
comes
to,
from.
we have to develop our own sense of like, I want to be that person. I want to be that mom, that grandma, that auntie that like, a niece or a kid can call and be like,
Yeah.
I'm having trouble. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what? I'm on it.
Yeah.
Direct line to Jesus. Let me go
Yeah.
ahead and put some prayers on this thing.
Absolutely.
So
Or
this
you,
baby don't have to suffer.
yeah, or you tell me, and that's just what I do. I just gone to praying. They don't even know you praying or whatever. They
Or how about
even
you
coming
don't
to you.
they don't tell you,
Is it
but you just praying anyway, because
just because
just
people are
because.
struggling, and
Yep.
that is one of my prayers to be able to pray for other people. Because so
Mhm.
many times, like Lord, thank you and giving me breath, and thank you
Mhm.
for my house and my child. You pray for your own
Your
little
circle, yeah.
circle, and my prayer is for other people. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Just
Mhm.
out the blue, randomly, consistently. You and Jason, your baby, as a
Mhm.
mom, mothers. There's
Ooh,
so many
child.
different people. That we can lift up because so many people that we didn't know were praying for us still
Right.
today
Right.
are lifting us up. And I'm with
Absolutely.
you. I would very much love to carry out that legacy, that
Yeah.
history
Yes.
of,
Yes.
yeah, and it costs nothing.
Nothing.
And the earlier or
Absolutely
the
nothing.
more time you set aside for it, the more intense
Mhm.
it really is. But there's
Mhm.
no setting time, place for anything when it comes to
Right.
prayer and lifting up other
Right.
people. So good
Right.
to know. I knew you had a foundation, but I didn't know what it was, or that you were literally raised in Southern Baptist.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Touch. So
Yeah.
a little
In
shouting
the
going
church
on, little
house.
drums.
Oh yes, everything. Everything. And I love it. Like the music is again creative, right?
Yeah,
Music is probably what drives me in church. Obviously, you want to connect with a word and I
yeah.
don't connect with every pastor.
Of course not. You're not
You
supposed to.
find your home,
Yeah,
but music definitely connects me in a way in church
yeah.
that nothing else
Spiritual,
does.
spiritual feeling. So now we're on our fourth question. No. Who named you?
Oh God. This is oh geez, this
Interesting.
is a story. This is a
Who
story.
knew?
I know. So my mom named me Tiffany with an IE. I'm not exactly sure why she didn't go with the Y, but or just
Creative,
an
different.
I or so yeah, so Tiffany IE. Now, the story behind it though, I don't know well, I do know. Okay, so do you remember Beverly Hillbillies?
Of course, yeah.
Of course you do. The youngins don't know anything about that, as why should they?
Yeah.
But there was a show called Beverly Hillbillies back in the day. And apparently, and I remember the show, but I didn't religiously watch the show.
Yeah.
There was a son named Jethro. And
Mm.
apparently, Jethro maybe had a daughter, and
Hmm.
he named the daughter Jethrine.
Aw.
My dad thought it would be a great idea to name me James Reen after him, James.
Wow.
Now, my mother, legend has it, my mother got wind of that and was just like, not on my watch.
Yeah, never.
And so when the birth certificate time came around, my dad was not in the room. She put the name on the paper. He
Yeah.
figured out that it was not James Reen at some point later when the birth certificate showed up at the house.
Really? Like your
Mhm.
dad was in his head calling you James Rain?
I believe that is what he thought my name was.
Funny.
At least it was either first or middle. He thought one of those, and it was not.
That was a Holy Spirit that why would I even ask that question? I've never asked that question. What?
I don't know. And
What?
that's why I'm like, I can't, why are you even asking? So that's the legend. There
James
we go.
Green.
Can you imagine?
That's a dude. Not even a man, a dude. Your dad was straight a dude back then, thinking that because you even see you as James Rain.
And let's be honest, okay? He has a son, my older brother, okay? James the second, okay, or James G, whatever, right? So he had already had the name.
Take.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, he already had it. He need why he want to do that to me? My mom was like, oh no,
Not
oh
even for
no.
mama. Thank God
Yes,
for mama, because
again.
you'd have been James. James
And thank
Green.
God that he had to step out or whatever he was doing that when the birth certificate person came around, because he would have. I mean, so there we go.
Exactly. Sweet, savory, or spicy?
Savory.
Yeah, I think I'm savory and spicy.
I
Yeah,
could do a little spice. I'm not a big sweet person.
me neither.
Um, like if I have a taste for it, I want it and I
Yeah,
get it and then that's it. But
and I
I
don't have to
have
want
been
it.
known to like, buy something and then have one bite of it and then be done.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
So
have to do Krispy Kreme or.
I do have to do Krispy Kreme,
I mean, I have to be in
but
the
once I've
mood.
had it,
Yeah.
then I'm done. I don't need it for another 6 months, 2 years.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
I don't even have to have it. Yeah, I'm definitely, if it's some sweet up in there, it's mixed with the spicy.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Get some
Yeah. Yeah.
Thai chili sauce.
And there's always, yeah. So like if there is sweet, like there's some stipulations.
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
you mentioned Krispy Kreme. Okay, yes, Krispy Kreme, but is the hot sign on? Because if the hot sign isn't on,
Then it ain't Krispy Kreme.
then I'm not stopping. It's not
No,
worth it. It's
it's
not,
it's
it's not worth my time.
light skin gray donuts. If it's
Yeah, I'm not
Krispy
doing
Kreme.
that.
No,
Like it boggles my
crystallized sugar.
mind. Yes, it boggles my mind when people buy Krispy Kreme at like the grocery store or like the convenience store or gas station or whatever. Cause I'm
Thank
like, but
you.
it's
It's
not
not.
hot.
It,
Like
it's not
y'all
Krispy
eat
Kreme.
that like that? I don't understand. So
It
yeah.
needs to be gooey. It needs to make you feel like super bad, like your
Yeah.
sugar, everything's spiking in your body
I
when you
love it.
eat it. Not some crumbly, like I said,
Old. Mm-mm.
crystallized
Mm-mm.
sugar on a
No, we're
donut.
not.
That's not
No, we're
Krispy
not doing
Kreme.
that. We're not doing that.
See,
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
okay. At this point in time, what is your ultimate goal or one of your ultimate goals?
Um, that is it's that is a very good question.
Thank you.
I don't know that I have an answer for you.
Yeah. Part two.
Because huh?
Part two.
Yeah, that's definitely a part too.
Okay.
Like it's something that I think about constantly.
Yeah.
And at this point, like getting my mind to a point where it's clear
Mm.
to think about one thing is really it's really difficult. I was thinking this morning about a conversation that I had with someone in December and realizing that, oh snap, like this is how I do what it is I say I want to do. This is
Mhm.
the avenue that I need to go. And I didn't pick
Mhm.
up on it until now,
Mhm.
until this morning. And so now I'm like in my mind thinking, okay, I need to send this person these things, so that I can get this done.
Yeah.
But when I look at like the ultimate of what I want to do and peel back the layers of that, it is helping the most people,
Yeah.
the most diverse grouping of people in the most diverse areas,
Mm.
um, in the easiest way possible.
Mhm.
Meaning, like I will never be able to see in my office the number of people that I want to touch and
That's
impart
right.
wisdom on and speak to and have God speak through me. Because
That's
that's
right.
ultimately what it is. Like
Mhm.
him speaking through me. I'll get back to that in a second.
Mhm.
And so I do the way that I do that usually is television.
Yeah.
Because like I said before, I can talk to so many millions of people
Mhm.
and still be in this one place. And these are people that I wouldn't um, necessarily meet.
Yeah.
Now, when I say God speaking through me, what tends to happen, someone can ask a question, and it'll probably happen with this interview as well. Someone will ask me a question and I answer it. And my answers usually are very thoughtful,
Yeah.
um, and very pointed. And I try to connect with the person that I'm talking to make
Mhm.
sure that they get what it is I'm laying down.
Yeah.
Inevitably, though, someone will email me later, or reach out in some sort of way and say, what you said spoke to me in this way.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with what I said.
Exactly.
That's a it will be totally unrelated to what I was talking about. Or B,
Mhm.
I won't remember saying anything that they said I said.
Man, that's me. I said that? Like, what?
Yeah, and I
That's
said it.
scary,
You
yeah.
sure I
Yeah,
said that?
yeah.
Clients do that to me all the time. They'll say, "Yeah, I remember, a couple years ago when you said blah blah blah." I was like, "Oh, that was rude," but it stuck with them, and they got the point, right?
Right.
And so that's when you know that God is using you,
Yeah.
and that He's speaking through you,
Mhm.
because you don't even remember saying that, or why you
Mm.
would have said that, or that wasn't even what I was talking about.
Exactly.
But the message that you needed to receive
Yeah.
was there. So I guess my goal ultimately
Yeah.
is to be able to continue to do that more and more and more.
Yeah.
Now, what that will actually look like, I don't know. I don't think it's something that I can design.
Mm-mm.
I don't think it's something that I can say, okay, this is what I want and
That's
this is
right.
how it will look. I think it's going to look very different from anything that I could hope, dream, or
Mm.
imagine.
Yeah. And that's just going with the flow of it as well.
Yeah, yeah, I
Just kind
accept
of
that.
being in tuned and open
Yeah,
to it's like you have a core value. You really want to reach the masses.
yeah,
And there's only
I
one way you
accept
can
that.
do it and one way you do enjoy it,
Yeah.
if
And
it's
it's not conventional. Nothing about
no.
either of our careers has been like textbook, like you do this, do that. I was sitting in my master's class. It was one of my first classes in psychology. And my teacher, I don't even remember his name, but I remember him saying, people don't get into the field of psychology to make money.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
I
Yeah,
was like, first of
right.
all, again, student loans. You know how many student loans I got? I got to make
Exactly.
something. Number
Exactly. I
two,
do.
Number
I am.
two, I'm not getting a master's in
Yeah, to
anything
not make money.
to not make more money. And
That's right.
three, this takes
Yeah, money. Yeah.
to upkeep.
Well, because that's what he says and what the
Right,
standard conversation is
right,
about psychology,
right,
whatever. And then we have like, no, this is just gonna help the platform and everything where we're going.
right,
Like it doesn't,
right.
I'm not
This is a
just a
yes, if I
job.
was right. And you can fall into that. And yes, it is so great to be in a helping profession, to
Yeah.
help people, and whether that's social work or whatever it is. But
I
it
know.
don't mean
Yeah.
that you can't get into any industry. So no
That's
matter
right.
what industry you're in and
Exactly.
want to be in, if your desire is, financial security, or
That's
to,
right.
pay your bills
Thank
or
you.
whatever it is, like, you can do it. Do not let someone limit you in that way. And I just remember that stuck with me. It was like one of the first things he said. And I was like,
Mm-mm. But it's well
oh,
paid. It's well paid drummers. It's well
yes,
paid clowns. It's well
yes,
paid shoestring makers. I mean, it
yes.
depends
It
on how
don't
you look
matter.
at it and your ultimate goal
Yeah,
and how you limit yourself. Because there's no
exactly.
way. I
I
talk
looked
to
at that
people
little man with his little brown shoes. I said, "You be broke if you want to."
and he probably is. And he's conditioned himself to think that way and it's probably okay. And who knows
Yeah,
what he has
yeah.
to do to actually fill in the blanks or whatever, but it's your mindset. I'm
Yes,
with you.
absolutely.
Like there is no limit. I have no plans on getting a degree because I'm going back for my education.
Yes,
Got a
yes.
degree. I got a degree in my profession, cosmetology, but
Right.
I don't plan on being or getting a job. You know, there was a discussion in my household. Like, so you got a job lined up? Absolutely not. Like I'm going to learn. I'm an adult now, and
Right.
I'm ready, but where it's going to take me or what it's going to back up has nothing to do with a job, not
Absolutely.
me.
Yes. Mm-mm. No,
Not
this is not
me.
what the Lord has planned on my life.
And
So,
you have to be honest about stuff like that.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
like you said,
yeah.
you weren't sure, like even clear about saying you want to be on TV, or sometimes we have to release stuff that we want. And it's not even that big of a deal
We
or
do.
big of a goal. I want to be on
We do.
TV. What's
Right.
wrong with that?
I was not, and I still have a tough time with like self promotion and
Me too.
bigging up myself
Yeah.
and promote. I just have a really tough time with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And part of what kept me from going to journalism school or
Mm,
kept me from saying, I want to be on television
yeah.
was that like
Mm.
it's kind of like, oh, am I being narcissistic? Is it like I don't and I think in undergrad I did not have the confidence at that time to say I want to be on TV.
Yeah.
Um
Mm-mm.
Otherwise I would have gone that route. I didn't think like I was like I can't say that. I
Isn't that
can't
crazy?
yeah, I didn't know. And I didn't necessarily have someone to push me into that either, or that maybe saw that in me.
Yeah.
So I think that is it's so important as we raise little ones to
Yeah.
be able to say, not just you can be anything that you want to be, but to really like look into deep into them,
Yeah.
and say, okay, these are your talents, or these are things that I see that maybe you don't see.
Yeah.
Encourage them
Strength.
to explore
Yeah.
any and everything,
Yeah.
whether they feel like they might like it or might not,
That's
and
right.
just and be open that, even though they like something, even though it is a passion,
Yeah.
it may or may not turn into
It could
purpose. And
pass. Yeah.
and you can work a really great job
Yeah.
that funds your passion.
That's right.
That because I think there is this myth going around, and we all see it. Those memes that talk about, if you can find what you love, you'll never work a day in your life, or find a job that pays you to do
Look.
your passion. It does work for some people. It
Exactly.
doesn't always work for everyone.
Yeah.
I was one day I was at Steve Harvey um, in Chicago,
Mm.
and he he does all of his own, or at that time was doing a lot of talking during the commercial breaks. Like he has a warm up guy, but he would talk a lot, and
Mm.
he would always often talk about God. And one of the things he talked about that stuck with me is how he is very, very, very passionate about golf.
Mm.
Not the greatest golfer.
That's right, madam.
Yeah. Not the greatest golfer, but he loves the game of golf. He loves to play. He knows that his purpose, though, is in making people laugh.
Mm.
That he's put here to, and I believe he has that gift too of people hearing things that he says
Yeah.
and it doing
Mhm.
something to them, and that is God, kind of working his way through
Absolutely.
him. But he's super
Yeah.
passionate about
Love
golf.
it. Yeah.
Loves to, if there's new golf clubs, new golf shoes, outfit, new course, whatever, he wants to be there.
The whole
And the
idea.
mistake, right? And the mistake that he said people make is they think that just because they're passionate about something, that is what they're supposed to be
That's
doing.
right. Or they have to be an expert. Yeah.
They have to, yeah, and that they should be molding their career into
Mhm.
their passion. And
Mm.
that's not necessarily the case. That's not what
Exactly.
he was put here to do.
Mm.
However, his purpose and what he's gifted to do and his
Yeah.
purpose allows him the freedom
Yeah.
to do all that he wants to do in his area of passion.
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
I took that. It sits with me all the time. And I think that like there's so many things that I am super passionate about. And
Yeah.
that is where and many of us are like that,
Yeah.
where it gets so confusing because
Yeah.
it's all that we want to do.
Multi-passionate. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
all that we want to do. But we have to stay grounded
Yeah.
in why we're here,
That's right.
do that work,
Yeah.
and then our passion
Yeah.
will always be there,
Yeah.
and it will actually fund our ability to be able to
Absolutely.
be as passionate and do the things that we truly love
Exactly.
unedited.
Exactly. Yep. And that's where you have to be in tune. For us, it's in tune with God,
Yeah.
but just be in tune with a higher power, something, because that grounding, that core of knowing who you are, where you're supposed to be, and all the time that isn't clear. But when
Right.
you are multi-passionate, when you are creative, you have to be able to hone in on those
You got
voices.
to channel it, and it's not always easy. It's not always easy.
You have to
It
hone in
is
on
very
those
distracting. It is very distracting. It's very distracting for me. And then on top of that, if you're somebody who is more of a perfectionist, or you can be really good at
problem.
multiple things,
Yeah, so it could be a problem. You're not in
it
tune and
is.
grounded
Because you
and
you get so
listening.
good at these other things, these extracurriculars, that you're like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I wouldn't be so great at it if I wasn't.
What is it? Master of what is it? some master of not everything, but
Yeah,
yeah, just
I know what you mean.
yeah, I know what I'm trying to say too. And everybody else do too. Exactly. A master
Experted many and a
something.
master of none,
Why
something
don't
like that.
we
Yeah.
exactly? But that,
Yeah.
and you have to be aware because then you can start doing that self-sabotaging talk or I'm not
Right.
because we already have it with stuff that's right in our
Right.
lap. Like you said,
Right.
I just didn't feel comfortable
Right.
saying I want to be on TV. What is that? What is
Oh,
that stops us? And the lane is wide open and the lane is
right.
ours. People offering and
Right.
it's like, um, I don't know, a little bit of martyrism or something. A
Yeah,
little
I
bit
think
of
we're afraid to walk into something,
yeah,
especially when there's no one before us to show us how it's done.
yeah.
When when we were doing What Chili Wants,
Mm-mm.
one of the things that I was challenged with, and you know this because we had so much,
So
I
much
agonized
fun.
about the hair on that, right? So this is my first TV appearance, and I am sitting here thinking, no, first of all, and this is another example of how God can chase you down.
Yeah.
I declined that appearance so many times. Be-
Wow.
I declined it one because maybe the dates were wrong. Like I can't do
Yeah.
that date. I can't shoot on these dates.
Yeah.
Or they wanted to shoot in my office, and I was like, nah.
Mhm.
You can't shoot on this day because I'm not the only practitioner here, and
That's right.
other people's clients, and I'm not having cameras
The
in
way
here.
it's set up. No.
Right. And then there was something else. And then there was even another time where they
Wow.
called and they were like, can you do it? I gave them a list of like 5 different therapists at one point. And I was like, listen, this isn't working
Oh
for
my
whatever
God.
reason. Here are 5 people that I would trust.
Passing the baton.
Yes, these are great therapists. I love them all. Blah, blah, blah. Here you go. And they came back again after
Mm.
that and said, well, what about this date?
Mm.
Could this work? And of course, I was like, I will be in the Riviera Maya. I have a vacation planned that day. And I'm
Oh,
not changing it.
ridiculous.
Like it was that kind of thing. And so then they came back again after that and said, okay, the week after you get back, that Wednesday, can you do it? And I didn't have no excuse. I ran out.
Dang.
Like, they met
That's pretty
everything.
deep
Like,
though.
what if we don't do it in your office and we rent out the top floor of the Hyatt down the
Sure.
penthouse floor,
Yeah.
and then we make it look like an office?
Yeah.
What if we do this and we do it so that nobody, and
Jesus.
what if we pay you? What if we do all of these things? And I was like, okay, fine.
Okay.
Now,
He was like, what if?
yeah. And now I'm like, before I go on vacation, Angie puts in some fresh cornrows
Yeah.
so I can swim and do my things. But
Mm.
then
After.
I get back, and now I've been in the beach, in the
Yeah.
water with
Them
these
cornrows ain't
cornrows.
fresh.
They weren't, but they was fresh that day because Miss Angie Parker Yoakum with her Angie Parker pony puff came to the
Wait.
house.
Or did
Yes.
I come to your office? I remember doing all type of tricks. I feel one time I
No,
came to
I don't
the
think you came to
office.
my office. That not for this. I don't think you came
Mm-mm.
to my office for this. But like because I think at this time you were living with your brother. Were you still living with your brother
Probably.
at this part?
Well,
Yeah, we don't
who
know.
knows? Still going back and forth to Portland. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who even
So you came and we
knows?
redid those edges so that they laid.
Absolutely.
And I like when I met with them the first time I had the cornrows. I think I met with them when I first got back, like that Sunday. And then I was telling them, like, I'm gonna change my hair. My hair
Yeah.
won't look like this
Yeah.
when I come on Wednesday. And they were like, why?
Ooh.
Now these are
That was
white
new.
producers. These are
Yeah.
white producers, right?
They
So
love
I'm
that stuff though.
expecting them to say, they wanted more of a whatever look, but they were like,
No.
why?
Yeah.
Why would you change your hair?
This
And
was
I was
changed.
like, well, this isn't necessary. And they were like,
Mm.
you can do what you want to with your hair,
You like it.
but we're not telling you to
Yeah.
change your hair.
Yeah. We
If
don't want
you
you
want
to
to
change
wear
it because you think we want you to change
it,
it.
right. And so I think I talked to you about it. I talked to everyone. I was like,
Mm.
I don't know that this looks professional. I don't know. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know.
It was right.
And you were just like, go for it.
You made it
Go for it.
happen. You
Yeah.
made
And I
it
loved it.
popular. You made
And
it okay.
when I tell you, like, it was
everything.
Wow. Yeah.
It
Like
was everything.
a black therapist
Yeah.
on TV, and she's not just black. She
No,
has cornrows, okay?
clean, simple, clean, simple cornrows that you can't argue with.
No,
I'm trying to
you
say,
better
no matter
not.
what race, professionalism, they were
Right.
so clean and simple and right. And then the dark lighting, it was right. But
Girl,
I feel like you kind of opened that door for now, especially cornrows are cornrows. Even the
cornrows are
afro is still
blickety
afro
black. There is no
and
denying.
down.
There is no denying.
With a little,
We had a little swoop in there too,
with
we
a
were
little,
fresh.
yeah.
We were really fresh. But I mean,
Mhm.
in that story, I love that story. One, because it does signify, and it always has to me,
Yeah.
that a lot of the pressure that we feel about our hair, whether it's in corporate or on television,
Mm,
a lot of it is internal.
yeah.
A lot of it is internal. The
Yeah.
struggle that I had was not external. It
Mm-mm.
kind of was like, what will people think,
Hmm.
not what are people thinking.
Yeah, they didn't stop you.
They didn't.
They didn't
It was
stop you probably
me
like you
saying
want them to stop you.
right. And so I'm like, okay, I can do this. And from that point on, like I've never had any chemicals in my hair when I've gone on
No,
television.
big,
I
difficult.
might straighten it
Yeah,
or, flat iron at times.
yeah.
And I've even walked in with my hair flat ironed at times. And people have been like, oh, we
We
thought you were
want the
gonna wear
big
your hair.
afro tips.
Yeah.
We want the natural tips.
Yeah. And I'm
Yeah,
like, really? I
that's
didn't
why.
know
Yeah,
y'all appreciated that.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I love it. And I love that I have been
Mm,
able to do that for so long.
yeah.
And felt like I definitely am not saying that I was the first person on television to like rock natural hair because I
No,
wasn't. But to be
you
able
opened
to
the
do
door.
it in this space
Yeah,
consistently
yeah,
feels really nice
yeah.
that people now are just like, oh,
It
yeah, I'm
wasn't
gonna,
popular like that then, though. It
no,
really, really wasn't, especially for a
mm-mm,
doctor, sex therapist, or whatever they had you on.
right,
It wasn't popular then. It's
yeah,
really starting to become more popular, the thing now.
yeah.
So, what time is it? Oh, shoot. Let's wrap it up. We definitely have to do a part two with you. I got, girl, a page of
I
questions. We
know.
haven't even,
I'm not even gonna talk
yeah, we
next
just had
time.
a
I'm just gonna let you
conversation
answer
with
your
some
questions.
questions.
Yep.
We will have a part two. And that's just it, even wrapping up what you said. People love you for being you. That's what everybody has to realize. People seek uh, each of
Mhm.
us out because of who we are and
For
what we
sure.
do bring to the table.
Authenticity is 100%.
Absolutely.
Any area of business that you are in, whether you are, my husband's a chiropractor,
Yeah.
and whether you're a hairdresser, whether you're a bartender, whether you're, a server
Yeah.
at a restaurant, a therapist,
Yeah.
regular doc, like it does not matter what industry you are in.
Yeah.
People will come back to your place
You.
of business because of you. They can't get you down at like there are even my local wine shop, right? I
Mhm.
pass at least 50 wine shops
All day long.
on the way to the one that I like. And it's
Absolutely.
because of the owner, it's because of the staff, it is because of, my desire to support Black business, but
Yeah.
it's very strategic,
Yeah.
where we spend our money. Men, when they're looking for a barber,
Hmm.
they pass 5,000 barbers,
Absolutely.
especially
Who's
Black
one
men.
down the street?
Yes, especially Black men,
Yeah.
because this is the barbershop that I like
Yeah.
because of the conversation that's
Yeah.
happening in here, the
A hot
people,
towel.
yep, the characters within it,
Yeah.
and this is the only person that I will allow to cut my hair
Because he do it the way I like it.
because he
She or
does it
he does it the
exactly
way.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a beautiful thing.
This is the doctor that I like going to
Yeah.
because they talk to me in a way that
Yeah.
and it might
Exactly.
not gel with everybody else, but we
No.
get each other.
No.
And so understand that in business, people will come back to you because of you, not because there are a million people that will do a version of what you
Thousands,
do.
millions, billions.
Yeah. And you owe it to yourself to find your person,
That's
to
right.
find your person.
Yes.
And,
Mm.
and understand that the people that come to you are your people.
Your community.
Yeah.
They are for you. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep staying in your lane. That's why they
Yeah.
pick you. That's why they choose you out of all people. That's why people look out for you, because you are Dr. Tiffany. You come to the table. Yeah. I mean, your authentic self, and it's important. And that's
Thank
very
you.
important for people to gain from this conversation, is to stay in your lane, to be yourself. It's okay to be creative and to be multi-passionate, but have some focus and also have that spiritual guidance. And
Yeah.
so I want to respect your time. Thank you so, so, so much. We have, now you definitely have to have a part two. We
I
barely got
know,
to one,
girl. I
but
know.
this was amazing. I appreciate you
I
and your
appreciate you
time.
too. I
Yeah, I love
appreciate you too.
you.
Thank you so much, Angie. Love you too.
And tell
I
Big Nene I said hi.
I will. He on the other side of this door over here. I thank you guys, and I thank you, Angie, and just let me know about part two, girl.
Absolutely. Look, and I
We'll have to
will.
coordinate.
Girl, and I will. Anyway, love you. Have a great day, and thank you.
All right.
All right, bye, y'all.